to be mechanech, children of the next generation. Baruch Hashem, many of you actually answered the survey this past, it was actually, I think, 18 months ago, and ran this survey, and it showed how Chabad Hebrew schools are growing, and this is something we should all be very proud of. We're growing while other organizations are slightly in decline, and Chabad is growing. So this is something we should take much nachas from. And to summarize, what we're going to hear is, number one, we're going to hear from Mrs. Weiss, who is there for all the shluchim and shluchos on there to help them with the who is the shluchim liaison. Many of you know her, Mrs. Weiss.
Hi, everybody. Looking forward to another great year at CKids. We really love to try to make CKids work for all Chabad houses in some way or another, whether you have a Hebrew school, you don't have a Hebrew school yet, you're really small. We really work with each shliach, reach out. I can help walk you through all the different programs, how to make them work. We try to also make it work financially the best that we can. So always feel to reach out, WhatsApp, call the office line, email. There's a whole bunch of ways to reach us, preferably not through the chats, the big chats, those get missed, but always private message us, me, and we respond, and always happy to help. Any questions that anybody might have. Hours are, limited. I'm usually here till 2:30. I understand that doesn't work for everybody. We try to accommodate, and hopefully, Mirza Shem, we can work on having extended hours. But right now, that's what we have. So reach out, let me know how I can help.
One of the most valuable things is that Mrs. Weiss does for a lot of shluchim, especially people that are starting out, there's no one size fit all. We don't believe that every single Hebrew school necessarily can be doing everything, but we do believe that there is something for everyone to help them in their specific situation. So I think this gives her, Mrs. Weiss, the most joy, is actually literally talking on the phone for an hour with a shliach or shlucha who's setting up a Hebrew school or wants to really revamp the Hebrew school, and walking them through the various experiences that could be done through CKids. So yashakach to Mrs. Weiss. And yes. Now, moving on, there is, we have this grand Hebrew school, and many of you struggle for time, and we are pushing for more and more programs. And we definitely understand the issue of time. We do want people to add more days, more time. We understand it's not practical in all scenarios. But yet again, our job is Malin B'Kodesh to be pushing for more and more. This is, the people would come by the Rebbe, they would bring a sefer that they wrote. The Rebbe would say, when's the next sefer coming out? The Rebbe was always pushing for more and more. So the same thing, we need to be pushing for more and more in our own shlichus, every single one. So for this, we're providing the Hebrew school curriculum as the main content, and then in addition to that, we have the Tzivus Hashem element, which is the practical side of it. So we've developed Tzivus Hashem in a formula that it shouldn't take up that much time, but it's the tachlis, it's the ma'aseh b'poel. The CKids clubs then come and make these Jewish experiences that are used first of all in Hebrew schools, and actually about 70% of shluchim and shluchis responded on our survey that they're using CKids clubs to attract new people that are not in their Hebrew schools also. And then obviously we have the famous JUQ, which is that knowledge base that the kids are learning. Interestingly enough, 42% of shluchim responded that their kids are learning JUQ at home, which is a beautiful, beautiful accomplishment, which that ties into the Shabbaton. And last but not least, this ties into, again, pushing kids to do more. Baruch Hashem, there are a few CKids overnight camps, getting your kids to take the next step, pushing them into an overnight camp, and then obviously also Bezos Hashem sending them into a day school, which hopefully can change their whole life, to trajectory of their own life more and more. So without further ado, we will jump into the Hebrew school experience. Ms. Chaya Zirkin, she's been working in CKids for the past 3 years, been doing an excellent job with facilitating the Hebrew school content development. So Chaya Zirkin, the microphone is yours. Are you here? Oh, you're on mute, Chaya.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. Hi, everyone. As always, it's an honor to be here for you and to be able to help you have an impact in your Chabad house. So I'm going to just explain what we have offered for next year. Let me just move along the slides. Okay, so first thing, the broad CKids goal, the broad Hebrew school goal, what we are offering is that we collected a lot of data with a lot of shluchim, and there are a few different curriculum which we feel is important for a Hebrew school student to get at different points of their life. So therefore, Bereshis is in younger grades, and as well as in older grades, we've provided content for younger grades and for older grades. So if you see this past year, we ran Bereshis 2022 to 2023. That was our school-wide curriculum. Next year is going to be Shemais, because Shemais has not been, it's not just Shemais, it's also Shemais and Bamidbar. It has not been touched within your Hebrew schools. If you've been following what we've been providing, it hasn't been touched for the past 4 years. So it's a great time to review, and we'll go through the details of what that's going to look like soon. Then the following year is going to be a mitzvahs curriculum. Either for younger grades, it's going to be Super Jew, and for older grades, it's going to be Bringing It Home, but we're going to revamp the branding in order to make it more current. We're also going to go back to the content and redevelop it. It was developed a lot on a very short time frame, and not typically the way that we develop. So we are revisiting that content for the following year. And then the year after, Bereshis again we'll be doing. Again, at that point, it's been 3 years since the kids have encountered Bereshis, and they haven't encountered those stories again. We're going to redo Bereshis, and then the following year, it's either going to be Adventure to the Holy Land, which is Shemais again. It's either going to be that for the younger kids, or for the older kids, Israel Quest. The reason why we're doing this is because Shemais, they've encountered the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim again by Pesach. They've encountered the story of Matan Torah by Shavuos. The story of Sukkot helps encounter the journeys. And then everything else is also kind of reviewed a little bit in the beginning of the Israel Quest for the upper grade levels. So they're going to get again just like revisiting those stories. So what is unique about CKids? A couple of things. Either you can use the CKids. So this is what we feel every child should know after graduating Hebrew school: the basic stories of Bereshis, of Shemais, the basic mitzvahs. And it's within Bereshis and Shemais and the mitzvahs, Bereshis, Shemais, Israel Quest. All of it is we partner our curriculum with mitzvahs Maaseh. So for example, with Israel Quest, they learned beautifully about the concept of davening, or about going to shuls, mishkat. So there's always a partnership between the concepts that they're learning, as well as hashkafa, as well as mitzvahs. And through us repeating these curriculums, we're actually helping them to retain their information, as well as creating a Hebrew school language. The kids know what neshama is, they know what Hashem is. We spend hours together with a very talented curriculum team, Mrs. Blooming, Sarah Blooming, Mrs. Chavi Ash, to help develop the content, to develop the Hebrew school language. We have talented writers on board. We research the Rebbe's talks, Rebbe Retzu Kinder, and all of that helps us develop our focused goals and that's our essential understandings, our enduring concepts. This is what we want the students to get from within those years. So, and we have a specific lesson style. Our lesson style is that the content is taught through activities. And for those of you that doesn't work, you could still teach the story, but then use the activity as a review, or in that regard. And CKids Prep, basically, we do all the research for you, even those activities that are those intense, those very fun activities. We do that for you. We allow you to purchase the custom supplies, which again is going to be next year, Bezras Hashem. We're going to have that also available in two different groups of lessons. And already now you'll be very happy to hear we've mostly placed our China orders. It's slated to go out midsummer, towards the end of summer, the first group of packages. So we definitely are trying to help with having the stuff to you further in advance than in previous years. Baruch Hashem, we've had more time to prep on the curriculum. So that is what should every child know after graduating Hebrew school. We went through it. we're developing a language, we're developing their relationship with Hashem, they're we're repeating concepts throughout the year, and then hopefully we'll give them the tools to be able to feel proud of being Jewish, be proud of who they are, their identity, etc. So that is this slide. Let's talk about Shmai's Adventure to the Holy Land. 4 years ago when it ran, it was about 10 lessons, and it was geared for kindergarten through 2nd grade. This year, we are actually expanding it, similar to what we did with Voracious. And here's our basic curriculum overview. We have a few different units. We have Sheba Mitzrayim, which is Sheba Mitzrayim, Maisha is a shepherd, the 10 plagues, the 10 Malchus, and then that's our first unit. Our second unit is getting the Torah. It's getting ready to leave. So Yitzias Mitzrayim, Kriyas Yam Suf, Matan Torah, and then unfortunately Cheta Egel. But Cheta Egel is taught through the lens that even when Bnei Yisrael mess up, don't worry, Hashem will give us an opportunity to be forgiven with the Mishkan. So we have a Mishkan lesson. We have afterwards Life in the Desert with Chetam Meraglim. Kairach, we still haven't yet figured out. And then we have Bnei Yisrael traveling to Eretz Yisrael, Bilam's prophecy, where they're going to feel Hashem's love for them. And then obviously entering into Eretz Yisrael. So this is our curriculum overview. We have a review lesson in the middle. We have an introduction lesson as well, and a review lesson at the end. And this is our general curriculum overview. And our theme for this year is really the 40-year journey that made us into a people. So it's the idea of that the kids will feel empowered. They're going to see that they were the ones that recognized Hashem in Mitzrayim. They're the ones that were the guarantors by Matan Torah. They were the ones. So there's really a theme of developing the relationship with Hashem, and really the idea of Geula, leaving Mitzrayim, these messages that will help them again in their life. It's that we're here, we're trying to, even though we're in Galus now, our goal is Geula. Matan Torah is a microcosm of Geula, etc. So that's our curriculum. So what do you receive? 15 Shmais lessons, similar to Voracious, 15 lessons. Last time it ran, it was 10 lessons or 12 lessons. I think it was 10 lessons. It's been expanded to 15 lessons, upgraded activities. Those activities have been piloted in 5 different locations, 7 different classrooms around United States. So we have real feedback, real data on how those activities are going to work. We've also gone back to the drawing board and revised a lot of activities after they were done. So you can be rest assured that what the product that you're going to be getting is going to be a great product. And how's each grade level different? We have 3rd to 5th grade, which is baseline content and activities. And then we're going to have K-2 variation activities for younger grade, and 3rd to 5th variation activities. If you are a smaller Hebrew school, it's too expensive to buy the supplies. We've listened to you, we hear that. And so therefore we are also offering variation activities, which will not be as well as our upgraded activities, but it is something that we felt is important to provide for you next year. And then similarly, holiday lessons, again, Shluchim have been doing holiday lessons for years, but we do have holiday lessons that we could provide for you, 3 different grade levels. We'll be providing you the ones that ran 2 years ago. So hopefully within then you'll be able to pick and choose activities that could work for you. And then resources, specialty supplies are available for purchase for grades 3 to 5th, and then supply lists and variation supplies for the rest of the grades. We have Shmais marketing, we have flyers, we have banners. Now, for those of you that are asking about 6th to 8th grade, we are working on a solution to provide something specific for 6th to 8th grade that goes beyond formal Hebrew school type of classroom. So stay tuned for that when we do have what we are providing for 6th to 8th grade. Next is our tier pricing, member price. So basically I just want to, most things went up, as we know nowadays, but we really work hard to try to keep the price low for you. So I'm just gonna give our different price tiers. As you know, we have 1 to 14 students. In previous years, it always cost around $350 for all of these lessons. So therefore, we are providing it at $350 if you do if you are A, member, and B, if you opt into surveys. I'll explain what the surveys are later on. And then also, just like last year, if we can have a we'll be providing a 10% discount code to those of you that have bought Shemais 4 years ago. So these are our prices. Why is it that we're choosing to do this survey? Because basically, as you know, if we get data from you, you can rest assured from us that we're not going to sell that data to anybody. We're not using it, but it does help us help a broader group of shluchim, and it does also help position us as being the premier education source for Hebrew schools, which helps us get more grants, which helps us keep the prices lower for you. So this is kind of why we are asking you, by way of the price structure, to please give us back a little bit of your time, which helps us keep the prices continuously low for you. But again, if you choose to not be a member, or if you choose to not opt into the surveys, then on the flip side, there is that little price difference. So now let me explain what the survey opt-in is, because it's important. Our data helps us ensure the curriculum's success. It helps us continue to help you better. Like I said, it positions us to be able to provide more grants. It also helps us on a publicity rate, like, you know, the last study that was just published about how Hebrew school numbers went up. How do they know about CKids? Oh, because I mean, besides for Sarah Lefsky being involved over there, they know about CKids because CKids is the position of being the provider for all Hebrew schools. So then they were able to get the approximate amount of numbers, and it was a big Kiddush Lubavitch for the fact that we were able to show that to them. So that's why we want to just continuously get data from you. So what is the data that we're asking from shluchim / directors and teachers? One survey at the end of the year. It's going to be a long survey, but it is important for us, again, to get a survey at the end of the year. We're not going to give it we're going to give it towards the end of the year, not exactly at the end of the year when you're stressed out about your end of year graduation, but it's going to be towards the end of the year. Parents, we're going to be providing you a survey to administer to your parents. We are not using that data. We are not going to email them. We are not going to, you know, ask them to sign up for anything, and you're going to have access to your parents' data as well, which will help you be able to better cater to your parents. So that's also going to be at least, that's going to be also towards the end of the year. So parents, a parent survey that you'll be administrating to your parents. And then lastly, students, twice, collecting data from students. What is the data that we're collecting? One is going to be a mid-year contest, which is going to be creative based. And we're going to be so just kind of help us run this contest. And this contest helps us, again, just show what our Hebrew school is able to, our Hebrew school students have, you know, integrated the knowledge and integrated the information into themselves. So help us by doing this contest. So the contest is going to run around mid-year. We don't know exactly when, but it's basically, the idea is that children are the guarantors. So how can the kids show that they're the guarantors, that they have been, that they appreciate the Torah, that they value Torah, that it makes them into a more proud Jew, et cetera, et cetera. It's through this contest. They're going to have like a very simple creative based project, writing, drawing, visual arts, song, poem, whatever. And it will show, and like you could also use this at your end of year ceremonies to display to your kids, to display publicly, but we're asking you to collect that data and give it into us. And again, it's not that we're, you know, selling it to people or anything. It's just simply for us to analyze our impact. And then the last.
But I'll just cut in, by the way, it's well, quick question. Quick point. Mainly, it's also, there's a lot of like chatter about how things should be developed on the chats. And obviously it's good to take feedback from there, but what we try to do is put that information into questions, into the surveys, so then we can really see the results. You know, just because one person is upset that something comes out one way, if we see the data is completely the opposite, then we'll try to keep that way. Obviously, we'll try to facilitate for everyone. So the main thing of the survey is really also Pasha helping the shluchim. So we should be able to develop for you to help you the most. Continue, Chaya.
Okay, and then the last thing is an end of year quiz. which the kids will have, I don't know, something like 15 questions to just take. And again, this proves to us that our content is working. So this is our data, opting into surveys, which again helps us, keeps the price low. It's cheaper. Okay, so for now, what we have is really exciting. The past couple of weeks, you've been doing surveys. So talking on the survey route is this year, we developed our survey, the Hebrew School survey, and what we are going to do is if you take the survey, fill it out completely, you'll be entered into a raffle for next year's curriculum for free. So survey is going to go out today and the raffle will be drawn next week, Tuesday. It gives you a week. It gives you a couple of days after Shavuos, or your end of year graduations to take it and to answer us. Again, this helps us better develop products for you that better suit you. Okay. Once again, we are offering a generic marketing package this year. This is our flyer and it comes with everything. It comes with Facebook posts, handbooks, social media, olive-based posters, etc. Everything that you need to market your Hebrew school. We're in the process of also finishing up a video. It's going to be posted over there. And this is $70 for members. You get a lot of value for it. When I used to customize a flyer for, like when I would hire a graphic designer to customize a flyer, it always costs around $70. And with this, you get so much more. So that's our generic marketing package. But again, if you choose to not do this, there is also a specific marketing package, specific to the curriculum, to the Shemais curriculum marketing package. Next is also, we listen to your feedback. So we are offering 2 end of year ceremonies next year. So in general, we have 2 schools of thought. And so we want to try to accommodate both. And before I even describe that, I'm going to just take it a step back. We've already hired the same person that developed the medleys for this year. We hired her already to start next week working on the medleys. Until we found that person was a process, and there was like a lot of back and forth, a lot of us developing something, having to throw it in the garbage, etc. So at this point, we know that this person's style is exactly the style that we need. We got great feedback from Shulchan, so we are going to be providing those medleys in Mitzvah Shem towards the beginning of next year. And it's already, like I said, she's hired starting next week. So we have 2 schools of thought. School of thought number 1 is theme-based curriculum. People like it. Theme-based end of year ceremony. People like it when it is something that reflects what the students have learned. And other people, especially those shulchan that only use the curriculum for 1 grade level, they prefer a generic end of year ceremony. So generic end of year ceremony could be to the theme of learning Torah, or it could be to the theme of Shema, or it could be to the theme of Mashiach. So we are Mitzvah Shem hoping to finalize with an experienced shulchan that has produced these generic end of year ceremonies. We're going to work with her to be able to provide that for you if you do choose to go that route. Otherwise, you can be rest assured that CKids is developing a theme-based graduation ceremony. And like I said, our timeline has already moved a lot more up because we have hired we went through the pain process the previous years in order to get to the person that we produced really great stuff this year. Okay, and then Rabbi, you want to introduce this?
Okay, so this is a many shluchim have come to us regarding that they want a nice website, and there's multiple ways how to use this website. They want a good website for kids, whether that be their Hebrew school or other programs that they're running involved. So over the past actually year or 2, Chaya has been working, in addition to the Hebrew school stuff, she's been working with Chabad Derog on developing a mini site for CKids. So Chaya, the microphone is yours to take this away and give a short overview of this pilot project. It's currently being piloted. Chaya.
So the CKids mini site, it's something that we're extremely proud of. It took years in the making, as many of you know, for if you've been following us, and now Baruch Hashem, it's almost ready to launch. At this point, we have a couple of shluchim that we've reached out to personally that have, hold on a second. A couple of shluchim that we've reached out to personally that are in the process of customizing them over the next couple of weeks. I developed a video tutorial. I developed Canva links for you to be able to customize it. And so hopefully mid-June, we're going to be able to show you a sample of 5 to 10 shluchim, and as well as a step-by-step guide for how to edit it yourself, a video tutorial. So it's really exciting. It comes with everything that can be your youth site. You're able, like you see, you're able to see, highlight all the programs that you produce. You're able to edit an About Us video. You're able to edit your testimonials, your featured events, your calendar. You're able to edit your top image, your bottom images. So this is really exciting for us, and it's going to be able to help you push your CKids, push your youth programs, and kind of develop it as like one broad umbrella. Whether it's Hebrew School Camp, clubs, Hebrew reading, everything you need is going to be in the CKids mini site. It comes with 30 pages. We developed the content on all those pages. We developed the tool for you to easily customize it. So we're excited about this. And also, I don't know if you know this, but there is an email template which you can which is in Chabad.org as well. So there's a weekly recap that you can use, like an email template that looks similar to CKids style, which you can use. And the estimated launch date is hopefully around June time, like the first week or so of June. We already have those shluchim that committed to editing their mini sites by then. So hopefully we'll be able to launch the mini site soon. And again, weekly email template, weekly recap for your Hebrew school. Email template is like if you send out something like a weekly recap for your Hebrew school. It's like, oh, and today we learned XYZ. So and here are pictures. And if you want to do extra reading, here's this extra reading. So it's a weekly recap for your Hebrew school, as well as part of what we're providing you is the text for that weekly recap. I went through most of the lessons already. We have weekly summaries about them, suggestions of what types of pictures to take for your students. So that is a separate document, but you could copy and paste all that stuff into your weekly template for your Hebrew school. And now, without any further ado, Rabbi is going to introduce our next very exciting.
So before we move on to Sivas Hashem, I just want to elaborate on one of the elements. I think people should appreciate this regarding curriculum development. So last year, already since mid-January, beginning of February, sorry, I'm speaking in the Goyish months, my wife Mushki has been working with a group of 4 piloters. And I want to give them a special shout out for they have been teaching lessons, giving feedback to Mushki, and from there to the whole team to go ahead and develop it. So the Adventure to the Holy Land was developed a couple of years ago by Mushki, and now it's being redone and expanded. So just a special shout out to the piloters. They are Mrs. Shana Freeman from Massachusetts, Mrs. Miriam Esther Wilhelm, Mrs. Musi Weinfeld from California, and Mrs. Nochi Zerkin from Maryland. In addition to that, obviously, a very special shout out to the whole Hebrew School VAD, which are involved. So on that specific team, there's also Mrs. Sarah Blooming, I mentioned earlier, Mrs. Sarah Blooming and Mrs. Chavi Ash, who are very involved. And then beyond that, in general VAD, Baruch Hashem, they've really been, we should give them much credit because they are the ears on the ground, steering us what we should be doing, what we should be investing on. And they are Mrs. Hannah Gansberg, Mrs. Shanowitz, Mrs. Kievman, Mrs. Alevsky, and Mrs. Goodman. And I mentioned already Mrs. Ash and Mrs. Blooming. So big yasher koyach for all the time and effort that the shluchim and shluchis put into it. Now jumping onto the Sivas Hashem part. Which this also, much credit goes to the shluchim and shluchos for us to make sure that this is successful. Last year, over the past few years, we've been trying to get Civis Hashem successful in Hebrew schools, in the kids that are not yet involved in the Freie kids world, and it was not successful. Last year, my wife actually got on the phone with, I believe, with Hannah Gansberg, Javi Ash, Sarah Blooming. I think it was on a Friday in the middle of Elul. And they're like, we got to hack Civis Hashem. Let's make this a reality. With Risa Bursk, actually, also. And they came up with a very simple solution of this booklet. And about 30 shluchim went ahead and used the program this past year. It was a beautiful pilot. Sarah Chen, if you want to move the slide to the next one. And it's pretty amazing the results that we saw. The results that we saw from the shluchim that actually did Civis Hashem. Do you want to move the slide, Sarah?
Yeah.
The next slide has it. I'll start reading. Oh, there it is. The numbers talk for yourself. Number one, 87% of the students, they're more excited about the Yom Tov. Well, okay, jump back. 81% of shluchim said that their kids are enthusiastic about doing mitzvahs. 80% of the teachers and parents have seen an impact on the children that are doing Civis Hashem. 59% of shluchim said that the students are excited about teaching other kids about mitzvahs, which is phenomenal. That's an astounding thing. That kids are going ahead, they're doing shluchas. This is, they're going ahead and impacting other kids. Shluchim, 76% of the shluchim found it easy. It was always a struggle. Civis Hashem was too complicated, too this, that. Yeah. Very complicated for shluchim to implement. How you stuffing it into Hebrew school. Shluchim reported back, a majority of shluchim reported back that it was a pretty simple solution. Next slide. It was easy to implement, and we did the holiday frenzies. A lot of shluchim are it's very popular. We see the results every Yom Tov, the amount of mitzvahs that are happening there. And obviously, shluchim are very happy with the Civis Hashem magazine. We see a lot of shluchim using that much more than the actual. There's different parts. There's the booklets, the actual missions, that about 30 shluchim use, but the magazine's about 80, 90 to 100 shluchim are using, depending on the Yom Tov. So a big yashar koyach to the team been working on Civis Hashem, and we have over here Sarah Chen, who is going to be moving this department over the next year and been working on it for the past couple of months. Sarah Chen, you'll tell us what Civis Hashem will be for next year.
Okay, so hi everyone. So for next year, we're working on using the data that we got from this year to expand it and make it better. So first of all, we're going to have similar to last year, it's a Shem guide that each family will be getting a guide. If you sign up, all of the families in your community will be getting a guide of what Shem is, what they can expect from their kids, how often, etc., all the details like that. And then we also have weekly missions. So the Civis Hashem notebook, and we're going to have more options for missions this year, so that more kids can reach the rank of general, and get invited to Shabbaton, which we'll get to in a second, and also bonus missions, so that they can catch up their missions if there was a week that they missed, or they have more leeway over there. The missions can go hand in hand either with using the curriculum, or it can also be used if you're not using the CKids curriculum for next year. You can also use it as such, on its own. And then we will also be having monthly rallies, which big shout out to Rabbi Beryl Paltiel for hosting them this year, last year. And for next year, we want to make it more engaging even more engaging for the kids, more entertaining, more meaningful for the kids. We'll be providing resources and materials for that. We will be offering prizes for kids. For every child who goes up in rank, they will be new prizes for next year. And for the Holiday Frenzy contests, we will be having more raffles, so that more children have a chance to win prizes and get excited about it. Which leads into the holiday content, the holiday frenzies. We're going to have, again, every holiday there will be special missions just for that holiday, and kids will be able to and upload their missions, check them off, and be entered in the raffle. And you can also get a custom magazine just for your community where you can customize. We make a nice, really nice magazine, and you can customize it and make it personal, showcase what your community is having, any youth programs, any other programs. And then we have Jewish birthday kits where you can get in the beginning of the year a package to celebrate each kid's birthday, and it comes with like new stuff. And we also have, for any kid who wants to take on a chata for their birthday, mitzvah that they're going to do, it's CKids, they can fill out a form, and we will send them a special birthday present that for their birthday. And
What will be the
then
present?
What?
I want to know what will be the present?
It will be a special pair of CKids socks. Custom socks. And CKids Shabbaton invite, they will be, upon reaching general, the student will receive an invitation to join the Shabbaton. And again, it will be easier next year because there'll be more missions. They'll be able to reach general earlier in the year. And then it will be starting again from private, but for next year, it's going to be like a new program, so that even the kids who reach general this year, it won't feel like they're going back to private. It's not going to be a repeat. They're going to be getting a special reward for achieving whatever rank they were on this year. And then next year, it'll be like year 2 of Tzivos Hashem, and Chabad houses will be getting, or Hebrew schools will be getting a special poster or plaque, something that they can also showcase where all their students were last year, and starting from the beginning, rank it up again from this year. And then also we'll be having this past year is a little bit tricky. We got a lot of data saying that it was hard to keep track of our students' ranks and putting them in to be announced in the rallies and in the magazines. So we're gonna hopefully figure out a way to make that easier so that it's not such a big hassle. And then it's just once a month, you insert the students' ranks, and that's it.
Someone asked, sorry, quick interjection. Yeah. Someone asked what they actually do in the Tzivos Hashem notebook. It's very simple. It's a simple notebook, and you keep it in Hebrew school. You do not take it out. The kids has 1 or 2 or 3 missions per week, very simple missions. They're usually connected with the curriculum that they just learned. So for example, they learned about Sarei Menu, and there'll be a mission, light Shabbos candles. If you don't do the curriculum, it's fine, because lighting Shabbos candles is a good mission regardless. You don't have to have that pre-knowledge, that full hour lesson to do that mission. And then on the right side, it has a simple calculation for the kids to calculate where they're holding in ranks. So that's what happens in the book. It's a very simple book. Continue, back to you. Okay, so as far as membership goes, there is going to be a membership fee, and it's $50 if you're already a CKids member. And then included with your membership, you'll be getting every time there's a magazine, you'll be able to access it for free. If you choose to print it through CKids, you will have to pay a printing fee, but if you're printing it on your own, you will be able to access that for free. And then we have a beautiful Rise to General poster over here where you can actually see where all your students are ranked at any given moment. And it's really big, really nice, can go in your Hebrew school and all the kids can see it. And we also have a 12-second poster where it's also a nice big poster, and the kids can always see the 12-second, they can say it or just look at it, see it. So those 2 are coming all for free. And then also with your membership, you will be getting the Shem notebooks,
with all the missions, and then anything else throughout the year, there will be a discounted rate for a Shem member.
Okay.
So,
Yasher koach. Anything else to add? It's simple.
so
Let's do
thanks for
mitzvahs at home.
Exactly.
Let's bring Mashiach closer by these kids doing mitzvahs at home. So moving on to the CKids clubs, the Mrs. Yurkowitz, the CKids clubs, I think need no intro. They've been very successful. I think people want to really hear what is up and coming for next year. Mrs. Yurkowitz has been at this for many, many years. Let's hear what is on the menu for the upcoming year.
Oh, whoops. This year we have 7 really exciting clubs coming up. Meretz Hashem, after Shavuos, we're going to be releasing the dates for when you can plan to have your programs, like when it will arrive to you by, so you can plan your event for that day, along with the editable flyer for the year. I'll give you a little info about each. So what a club includes, just in case anyone here has not done clubs yet, there's a physical package that comes in the mail with the program guide, some printed supplies like signs, labels, the mitzvah missions, if there's any other little booklets or specialty stickers, as well as some of the specialty supplies, which is usually a branded item, and another specialty item, as well as online files, which will include PR like Facebook posts, editable flyers, press release samples, intro email samples, as well as a supply list with links for things that you can order. So I'll jump into this year. So for Rosh Hashanah, we're going to be doing, it's going to be like the program will have a station run structure, which has worked really well because that's usually the first event people do for the year. And we'll be providing, I don't want to say what the item is yet because I'm in the middle of confirming it, but the kids are going to be like collecting little things along the way to take home what they're learning at the Rosh Hashanah club, what they're doing, what they're learning. For Sukkot, we had, oh, I forgot to mention, thank you everybody for who did this survey. It was really, really helpful. Lucia Roskin and I are both in the middle of going through our list of shluchim who we're happy to give more feedback in addition to the survey. It's been really, really helpful. In general, whenever this is like a crucial time of the year where we really like to speak to people on the ground. Everyone obviously has different crowds and different situations, but it really helps us plan to make it, you know, better for the coming year. So this year's Sukkot is on a Sunday, and many times people do their clubs on Sunday. So if you want to do Chol Hamoed, it would be during the week. We also had a suggestion to do a Simchas Torah, a cafes program. I've been getting a lot of mixed feedback, so I'm just going to post a poll in a minute on the club update. If you could just quickly answer and help us make that decision. For Hanukkah this year, we are planning on providing a custom menorah craft kit, which will be different than other ones you've seen. Again, we'll release that once we have all the details. We're in the middle of working out what that will look like, along with a photo booth backdrop with like a proper one that would go on like a step and repeat banner style with a cutout. So it would really make like that station would really be a wow factor to your club, and it could also be used for your community events. Tu B'Shvat, we're going to be doing a glamping camping theme. The kids are going to be doing this nature adventure scavenger walk where they're going to be learning about the Shavas Aminim along the way. A really fun wooden stick craft, which again, more details will come, but that's just a little bit. Purim. I'm not going to give too many details on that. Pesach, we're going to focus on the Seder. For many people who are doing the Hebrew school curriculum this year, the kids will be very familiar with the Pesach story because they're learning about it. So the club is going to be more focused on the Seder itself, like the different steps, and of course more details will come on that. And this year, since there's 2 Adars, we're going to be providing a club that is not a Yom Tif. We're going to be focusing on Shabbos. And the kids are going to be making these Shabbos boxes that they're going to go home with that they should be able to do Shabbos at home. So at the club, they are going to be getting at the club itself. They will get comfortable with how they can use this box at home and like really be able to connect it with their families and do it at home. So the club itself is not a Shabbos club to be done on Shabbos. It's like a prep for Shabbos and something that the kids could be using at home. And it doesn't need to be done necessarily in Adar. We'll give you the date when it will be ready and you could plan it throughout the year to be really used for anything. And that is the clubs for my clubs information. Oh, and if you have any other feedback you want to send, happy to send me an email, brachaj@ckids.org.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Yorkowitz. Thank you, Mrs. Bosovsky. I also did not mention Miss Chana Potash, who works at Sarachain on the clubs, on the Tzivos Hashem. Okay, moving on to JUQ. We know Baruch Hashem, JUQ has been growing and thriving this past year to about 150 Hebrew schools, in addition to the fact that it's in Latin America, very strong, France, Australia, etc. Mendel Raskin has been spending the past 3 years on this. And without further ado, Rabbi Mendel, do you have admin access? Sarah Chain will give you admin access to share. Mendel.
You could be able to share.
Okay, do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Mendel Raskin. Some of you I've worked with a lot on this program. Some of you are new. So I'm just going to quickly go through the program, what JUQ entails. Some people look at the big regionals and look at the big championships, and it's a little over their head. And I'm going to show you how it's like a simple thing, how you could do in your Chabad house with a few kids, a lot of kids, and Mirz Hashem, you can grow and grow. And it's been really amazing to actually watch, just past year, there's around 30 to 50, give or take, Chabad houses that have really done it for the first time and have really taken it to the next level, which is really amazing. And just to get the feedback and to see at the end result how the kids know so much and just so much gratifying the work that everyone's putting into this, and we actually see it working. So let me show you quickly what the program is. First of all, our goals, why JUQ was created and why we push so much for JUQ is really 3 things. Number one, we want to have the kids master core Jewish concepts. Of course, in Hebrew school, they're learning. And with the past few years of Hebrew school, it's really gone up more and more and more. But we really want, so to speak, that dry knowledge that we hesitate to teach the kids. We want to make it more fun and exciting and a Jewish experience. Sometimes they don't know, they can't walk in and recite, or we want them to recite a lot more than what they're currently getting. And with the spirit of competition and prizes and excitement, it pushes them to actually walk out and they can recite. And Shulchan posting like, wow, the kid knows this from last year, he remembers this from 2 years ago, and oh, they know this part already, and now they're just experiencing and enjoying it. So when it comes to learning about Shabbos, either they are learning now in JUQ about Shabbos and they knew about Shabbos and the excitement about Shabbos, but now they're learning the details about Shabbos, or when they come to learn about the excitement about Shabbos, they already know so much, now they're just learning to actually bring it into their family and how exciting it is. So you're having that balance of that creative and fun Hebrew school experience with the practical learning, walking out, knowing knowledge of JUQ. Number 2, it's amazing to come into your Hebrew school and to your community and to offer something that's an exciting international program. It's not just what you're doing in your own community, but look, you guys are being connected to all these kids. You're part of this amazing international thing that speaks to a lot of parents, and it does speak to a lot of kids. And number 3, which is probably the hardest one, but over the years and through our survey, we're seeing how much we're getting there, engaging kids at home with their families. If it's number 1, the parents actually seeing the kids walking out and learning, not that they know they go to Hebrew school, but they actually see test results. There's formal, they see the kids are actually walking out and actually getting something. And step 2, even more so, the kids are reviewing with the families at home. They're playing games at home, and they're actually studying with their parents at home. You have some Chabad houses where the kids are literally parents. It's family time. The kids get together with their parents and they study for JUQ. Before a test, they're in Starbucks posting on Facebook, they're studying for JUCO. It's the most amazing thing to see that. So let me walk you quickly through the program where you want to make every kid feel special and feel like they're a champion of Torah. Number one is they need the book. So the Living Jewish book is one book for all grades. It's not like the Chidon where it's 5 different books. It's simple knowledge and all in one book. Every grade learns a different portion of the book. They can study in Hebrew school depending on your time allowing. Some give 30 minutes, some give 15 minutes, some have a more review. Some do Cocoa Club before Hebrew school. Some do during drop off and pickup. Some do like a snack, while everyone's eating a snack, they go through the PowerPoint. Like I'll show you in a moment. So a lot of them do it in Hebrew school. At least something should be in Hebrew school that it's living, that you could follow up with the kids. They know, what's going on. At home, kids reviewing at home, encourage parents to buy the book. You can buy the book and sell it to them, make a little profit if you want. Either some shluchim offer like another Zoom class during the week or another day during the week to offer the program, and really encourage the kids to learn anywhere. Like it's the most amazing thing to get from shluchim. WhatsApp messages of kids learning in the car, kids learning on the bus, kids learning on the plane. It's really cool how kids really, it's about presentation, about launching it correctly, and about offering those prizes and showing them the excitement, and you showing the excitement, or having teachers show that excitement. But kids really, you see in a lot of Chabadis how kids mostly get into it. Kids that weren't, some Chabadis weren't into it last year, they started off stronger, and that was a lot of successful. So we really see an amazing thing how kids are just walking around. In some cases, literally walking around with the book. The resources for GQ are, again, it's not a full-on curriculum. It's not meant to be an hour curriculum. It's supposed to be a supplement to the Hebrew school. With that, we offer some things to keep it a little spice. So there's the workbooks that the kids could either during a class fill out the workbooks or by themselves. That way they actually know they're actually learning. There's slideshows the teacher could offer. There's online games like you could do in class, and we'll show you in a moment. The kids can do it at home as well. And we also added, and we're perfecting some mini lessons, which are basically, double-sided per week or something like that. One, a few pages per week of just the outline and maybe a little story or a little quick game, just to make the lesson a little more exciting, especially for those who are doing it like on another day of Hebrew school. The online game zone, which has been a very big success, and you see the numbers of amount of kids, it's an amazing amount, hundreds of kids going online and playing these games at home. And we're going to be upping them more and more with the newer, cooler games, with Gimkin and the other games coming out. We constantly evolve and change the games, and now we're updating those games. And we encourage kids to, either in school, like some shlich set up in his library, tablets, the kids come in, they play, or encourage the families at home to play the games. The test can be done either in person, can be done online. They could be done, you print it, you put the marks in the system after. The kids log in, take the test, and you have the marks automatically. There's a lot of different ways that could be done. And we have prizes in Hashem for each test. That was a big thing last year, and this year we're gonna have new prizes already ordered. We ordered some samples, and we're be pretty exciting, and we're gonna be releasing them soon. The local championship is something that again could be tailored to everyone. Either you're doing with 3 kids and you're using parts of it, you're doing it with 100 kids. You're doing it by your own school, or you're getting together with other schools. And it's just been really so cool to see, you have a mid-year, some shluchim invite parents, invite grandparents, invite the media to come watch. It's something that you really put on your newspapers or on your online and put on your social media. And it's something very cool to show kids, literally show off what they're learning. And it's just an amazing thing to see, and especially the schools that get together with other schools. Long Island has 10 schools, Toronto, a whole bunch of schools, Pennsylvania, California, etc. And more Chabad houses last year started with 2, 3, and this year they want to reach 5 and 7 and get the schools together, which will also allow them to send more kids on stage, like we'll get in a moment. But even if you don't come to the Shabbaton, even if you don't do the international championship, this is already in a certain sense dayenu, where you can make a big deal about what you're doing in person. We're going to give you a whole game show. We're going to give you decor and supplies and games and prizes for the kids just to do your own mini event. And last but not least, the international championship, which we already released the dates this week, which is really just a finale, an amazing experience that kids have, and we're Mirta Shem going to be perfecting that more and more. We're going to have the top kid of every school plus the winners of the regionals participate during the game show on stage live, and while every other kid that comes that takes the final test will have their moment to shine by getting a JUCO medal and being honored on stage. So just a summary, we want the kids to learn core Jewish knowledge, learn the basics. It's an exciting part of the Shuki program that you can offer to parents. It's online. It's something they can see a lot of other Chabad are doing, and during the game zone and during the different things that you can offer the kids to learn at home. I know the Shluchim have a challenge of time, and there's so much things going on. I'll just say, number one, this coming year is a Ibra year, which does give us a little more leeway. There's extra few more review weeks instead of chop, 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 take the test. It does very successful to have a staff member in school. If you give one teacher, try to make them be on top of the kids. Otherwise, you do the best you can. Some start off with 15 minutes and they grow it as time goes along. I'm always available to reach out, as Shulchan know, to run tailored to your community to make it.
Yasher koyach. Thank you. This is a very good summary. Mirza Hashem, Mendel just touched upon the Shabbaton. The Shabbaton is Chavav Adar, and we will be going back to the Armon in Connecticut, which means it will be, we had about 800 people this past year. We can't really go much more than that this next year. So if you want to get your kids on the Shabbaton, I think basically there isn't that much more room than what we had last year. We took every bedroom in the hotel last year, so we'll be doing the same thing this upcoming year. We're kind of we're going into a year already maxed out. The ikar is we should continue to give a nachas ruach to the Rebbe of being mechanech kids, really making an impact on them, their families. And it's a very, very big schus for me, my wife, Mushki, and the whole CKids team to really be involved in your shlichus in this real chinuch that's happening. Obviously, I want to thank Rabbi Moshe Kotlarski and his son Mendy Kotlarski, who are the people behind CKids, who are funding this, America's 302, and everyone should have a Kabbalah Sater B'Simcha B'Pnimius B'Chaim. Shkoyach. Thank you. I'll check if there's any questions. We will send a link, Emetz Hashem. Yes, we will send it. It does take a bit of time for Zoom to give it to us. So I'm not sure if it'll be today. Sometimes it takes a couple hours. Mrs. Kresniansky has a good question. She would love to speak to anyone who has successfully integrated Tzivus Hashem in their Hebrew school with JUQ, with clubs, with everything. As Rabbi Raskin said, I feel your pain. I'm not sure the ultimate solution. Everyone, we need to push. Push. I need to push you. You need to push your community. You need to push your families. I'm not saying it's easy, but everyone needs to go. It used to be Hebrew school used to be 3 times a week. Now it's like down to 1. We need to push back to 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 times. Really, I think some shluchim can and are opening up a couple of times. They're opening up after school programs where kids are coming and doing homework and then other stuff. We really need to be pushing for more limited Torah. So I'm not arguing that it's easy in any way, but we all have one job. Lahagdil Torah v'yadir. That's it. So if you said that there was too little, it would be a good complaint. That would be a real complaint. Now it's a good complaint. There's too much. Okay, so let's go. Let's keep on doing too much. Let's add more Torah. Let's get more shluchim. Maybe bring down another shliach by you. Obviously, it's not such a simple thing that I'm saying, but maybe you can bring someone to focus exclusively on this, or you can focus exclusively on this. Yeah. And no more questions, I think. If anyone else has any more questions, more than happy to stay. You know where to run. Where did the kids update the missions? Oh, I'm scrolling through. Very simple. We found that technology does not work well with the kids. They update the missions in their book. So the book, it's a shame I don't have a Hashem book on me, but basically on the right side of each book has a very simple mathematical calculation where the kids are able to update their missions, and they tell you, and you tell us, we trust the kid, and that's it. The kid says he lit Shabbos candles, we're going to believe him. So, and he just updates it on the book, and then he tells us which rank he's in. What else? Any more questions? There's about the 15 to 34 students, a huge range. I will discuss it with the team. about that. Although Lav Davka will change. Mitzvah Shem, you'll be able to purchase the Hebrew School curriculum in about a week and a half to 2 weeks. We'll have everything up on the website. Please make sure, by the way, there's many groups, WhatsApp groups, and I know people complain about that. The main group you should be on is called the CKids Updates Broadcast. It is admin only publishes. There's no conversations there. We post everything there that is relevant for your shluchas. So if there's too many groups, leave them, no problem. Go onto the CKids Updates Broadcast. Just make sure you're on that group. There are many subgroups for this curriculum, that curriculum. There's a CKids Shluchas group and Shluchim group where people can discuss things, and that's great. And those are all very important things. Yeah. The price of the Tzivos Hashem handbooks are not included in the price. They're independent. Last year we charged a couple dollars per book. I do not know exactly what price it will be. It'll be probably a couple dollars mamash per book. There will be a supply package for the curriculum for the upcoming year. We're currently putting it together with China. Can the Tzivos Hashem handbooks be used 100%? There's nothing about them that is solidly about a specific year. It is interconnected with the missions of that was being taught that time. But again, those missions are inherently generic. Lighting Shabbos candles is a good mission any day of the week, any time of year, whether you learned about Sari Ameinu or not. The parents survey, how long is it? I don't know the exact time. We're working with someone to make sure that it's concise. Obviously, we don't want to make it too tedious and long, but we want to be able to track the impact that's happening on the parents and on the kids. And by the way, you'll shep nachas yourself. You're going to know what the real impact that you are doing. And I think that's it. Any more questions? No. Everyone. Maybe see Mashiach now.